Today I am going to show you how to add an entry to an exhibitor in the new Fair Entry software for the Weston County Fair. You'll see I have already logged in with 4-H Online to my family profile, and there are 2 members. I'm going to add projects for my member, Stacy Madden, by clicking on the Edit button. You want to make sure that all of the information is correct as far as name, address, birth date, phone, and particularly address, so that your fair premium checks get mailed to the correct place. Also, there's a fair question that must be answered before anyone can continue regarding interview judging for 4-H static exhibits. If you know you'll be bringing 4-H static exhibits, make sure to sign up for an interview judging time. If you know you will not be bringing any, select the I do not need to sign up for the interview judging spots and select Continue. Once you have all of this information reviewed, click on the Continue to Entries button. Underneath my member, Stacy Madden, I can then go in and add an entry. So I'm going to start by adding a static exhibit entry. So I will select the static exhibit, 4-H static exhibits department, and which will bring up a list of all the divisions within that department. Today I'm going to add a visual arts project. And then I select Choose. Now you will see all of the classes available to enter for 4-H static exhibits visual arts. You can select more than one class at a time, so I will be selecting 2 classes. You can also change the quantities. Let's say I have more than one craft that I will be bringing to the fair, so I can change that to 2, very simply from this screen. You will want to just double check. It will automatically populate with the 4-H club you're enrolled under into this box. Just double check and make sure that's correct. If it's not, you can change that with the Change button. Then you will select the Continue button. Which will bring up a screen that asks you to review the selections you just made. If you intended to enter these 3 classes and everything looks correct, select Create Entries. Now it'll bring you to a screen that looks something like this. You'll notice up here that there is a box that says to review and complete outstanding records. You will need to make sure that you complete all outstanding records by selecting this box. It'll bring up where the errors occurred. So for this entry, under 4-H Static Exhibits Visual Arts, Crafts, you need a description for your entry, just in case we lose the tag off of your project. So put a brief description about what your project is. You'll want to do that for all of your outstanding items. So once again, here's my next visual arts project. I need to put a description in for that. It is as simple as that, adding entries for static exhibits or any non-animal entry. But let's say I needed to add something more than just visual arts. I would click on for Stacy Madden Exhibitor, add another entry. And then it brings up a box where I can choose to change the department, but I still have another static exhibit that I need to enter. So I'll just change the division and select Cake Decorating. Choose. And it will bring up all the cake decorating classes available for me to enter. I will choose the class I need and select Continue. You'll see an error message come up if you are not enrolled in the project you are trying to enter a fair entry for. So, It is very important before you start any of your fair entry processes that you update all of the information in your 4-H Online profile to ensure you're enrolled in all the projects that you plan to bring to the county fair. So I can't enter this project at this point in time until I go into my 4-H Online profile and update my project list. So, since I can't do that, I know that I need to enter my brother into other classes. So I can come up here and change the exhibitor. Now I can either select another member of my family if they are already listed, or I can add another family member. To add another family member, I would go to Exhibitors, Register an Exhibitor button. It would be an individual, and I would enter the next member of my family. And select Continue. You need to enter a phone number and select Continue. You can copy the address already updated for your family into this member's information and select Continue. You'll have to make a selection. Will this member be doing a 4-H Online interview judging time? Since this person has not been enrolled in 4-H, probably not. So you will select I do not need to sign up for an interview judging time and select Continue. Double check and make sure all the information you just added is correct, and then select Continue to Entries. Now you can find member Tanya and add entries for Tanya. Since Tanya is not in 4-H, maybe she's in FFA. So we'll select FFA static exhibits, select the division, and choose. Now I can select the classes I need to enroll in. But one thing you want to make sure you do if you add a member to your family from that screen is to select their club. You can do this by simply selecting Change and finding the correct club that they need to enter into. Once you have all of that correct, you would select Continue. Double check and make sure all of your classes are correct, and then select Create Entries. And now there are 3 entries created for family member Tanya Matten. But since I just registered Tanya, I remembered that I forgot to register myself in my FFA class. So I'm going to go back up, find myself, and add an entry for my FFA projects. One thing to keep in mind here is to make sure that you change your club to the correct club. And then select your classes and choose Continue. If that's correct, create your entry. And just like that, now I have my 2 FFA static exhibits along with my 4-H exhibits. One thing to keep in mind, do not select the Continue to Payment button until you have registered all members of your family in all of the classes that they need to be registered into. Once you select the Continue to Payment button, you are locked out of editing any of your fare entries until you have been approved by either the Extension Office or the Fare Office. If you run into any troubles, just make sure to call the Extension Office. It's that simple.